Hello, I have arrived. I know, I'm late, I'm sorry. 20 minutes late. Damn, it's been a while since I have been this late. Probably was the last time I was this late, was probably maybe the game development as well. Anyway, I have arrived. Hello everyone, hello King, and hello Zako, and hello anyone who may or may not be lurking. How are you guys doing? Alright, oops, on my microphone again. So we are back to 5 push-ups for being late. Oh god, sure, okay, 1 second. I know you can't see it, you can't hear it, but I did some push-ups. Trust me. 5 push-ups have been completed for being late. Alright, so what are we gonna do today? We are gonna do some game dev again, as was scheduled, so Itagi dev continues. And last time we were doing some stuff with the treasure chest lockpicking minigame. And I think there were a couple issues remaining. And then afterwards, I think there's the challenge rework, which was, I think, Ilaria's submission. Let me check. Yes. And I think there's also some optional things as well for the harvesting mechanic by Kingu. And probably some visual like improvements and polish. Nom with the 30 stream streak. Thank you. Also, before I forget, Kingu on a 25 streak, and also Kingu with a beep boop. Beep boop. Thank you, Kingu, for the 6 months tier 1. Damn, it's been 6 months already on YouTube. That's crazy. Half a year. So you now also have the red badge, the ruby badge. Thank you very much. Also drank some water. Alright, let's get into it. Let me go back to my corner. And I probably should make another... Like, can I go on the main screen? I probably can. I should set up a shortcut again because it's so specific. When we do game development, the placement is so specific behind the or in front of the history. But this should be fine. Alright, so. Oops, god damn it. I just have my microphone set up a little bit in preparation of new tracking, which will probably still take a while, but I keep bumping it now. Yeah, bumping it more often than this. But this should be fine though. Just be more careful, Kohari, and everything is fine. Okay, so last time we were working on these things. Fixed a little description for the daily live stream thing, because we are not doing that anymore. It's more like 2 streams a week. And then we made the treasure chest spawn. Should I leave these crossed out? Probably, so we can track how much progress we are making. I probably should update them daily, but for now we leave it. This one can go though. So we did the random spawn timer. Actually no, I will leave them for the patch notes later, so I know what we actually did. Get bonked, nerd. Did you bonk me? Oh, you mean the microphone? Yeah. Get bonked, microphone. Hello, go, welcome, look away. Alright, so, make the chest event, the treasure chest event, lockpick, whatever, spawn randomly instead of after a challenge. So there's no wait time on that with some random values. We have now a check if you have even a lockpick available before you can open the chest. So there's an option to choose between opening it and breaking it. Oh yeah, well, the break menu logic. And then we remove the lockpicks and save them. And then everything else is hidden during the minigame, which was not the case before yesterday. And then we fixed some monitoring deferred thingy, some error, which I still don't understand exactly how it works. It's kind of weird in Godot with the monitoring, with the hitboxes that are disabled in the beginning and then enabled. I'm not sure if that is actually fixed, but it probably is good enough. But we'll see if we ever see an error again. And then we added the break option, which reduces the reward of the chest by 80%, so you only get 1 seed instead of up to 5. And then we have some, so we did the reward logic in general, right? Yeah, should actually probably be above. It's to reward logic and then random shells and seeds. So we have some kind of system with a list of rewards that can be in the chest, and those are mainly the seeds, and then you can get different amounts of shells with different weights. So that is weighted random shells and seeds. And then if you break it, you only get like 20%. Alright, I mean, we also reduced the price of lockpicks because for balance reasons. I guess it is something that is still ongoing, balance in general. I think the music is slightly too loud. Let me turn it down a bit. Also, hello Shade. I'm yet blue again. If you guys keep this up, I'm probably more blue than red. Over time. On the stream. Alright, let me show you what happened last time. Oh, how far the minigame is. It's kind of scuffed still. But, you know, the entire game is kind of scuffed, so... who cares? So currently it just spawns every 3 to 5 seconds. Instead of 3 to 5 minutes. So these buttons are kind of scuffed too, because they don't look very good. We will adjust them in the future, so... I'm not entirely sure what we will do here. How we want this to look. I don't really have great ideas, to be honest. Probably will have to research a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that on stream or off stream, probably off stream. Because there's a lot to do on stream anyway. So we stick to coding, and then if I have a design idea, I implement it on stream. Also, there's some weird thing going on up here. What is that? Do you see it? It's like a different dimension chest that is slowly floating down. That is so weird. Anyway, if you break it, we get a random reward. Oh, it's the next chest already. Jesus. Because I was talking so long. It is still not paused. It is kind of only slowed down a lot. The game, I mean, in the background. And then we can lockpick it, and then the minigame starts. And the minigame, for those who don't know yet, is the turn tool on the left you control with WASD, and then the hook on the right you control with your mouse. And both of those get a target, and you increase the tension the lower you go on the left, and you then have to see when it opens on the right. So what you are supposed to do is slowly increase the tension, move around the mouse while you're doing it, and if it starts vibrating, you've gone too far and need to release some tension. And if you move too much with the mouse while the tension is too high, the lockpick will break. So if you overshoot on the left, it will start vibrating. This time it was already in the right position. So let's increase the tension to the max. If I now move it, it starts vibrating, right? So you have to relieve the tension until it stops vibrating. So you find the right amount of tension, and then you move it to the spot where you need it. That is definitely something we still have to tweak once the other things are implemented, because it's not really not clear at all what you're supposed to do. But, you know, we definitely need a tutorial and probably just change it in general so it feels like an actual game. We need some audio feedback and probably some effects as well. Some more clear effects. And then eventually it will feel like an actual lockpicking game. But for now, this shell so far is. And you basically, at this stage, you can just spam it. Like, just go up, down with the mouse and increase the tension at the same time. So you basically can instantly complete it without even thinking. But that is the special tag. Alright, so that is the lockpick minigame for now. And we also need to make floating levels for the reward. And let's say floating levels or reward screen / animation pop up, whatever. Floating levels, yeah. So any of this and SFX for the reward. And probably EFX as well. So the people actually know what they got. And then, oops. Tension, rumble, SFX. You probably don't do any SFX and VFX today, so let's just continue with the logic. What was that? Auto mode. Oh. That's fine. Blue. Yep. So the next thing that we should be doing, let's leave the tutorial, SFX and floating stuff and all of the visual stuff out so we can focus on logic. Because I feel like I need to be more prepared if I want to do something visual. So challenge rework, huh? On the challenge select screen, randomized rewards, new rewards and penalties. This is gonna be a little complicated. Someone said blue. Yep, I'm blue again. So the idea behind the challenge rework is to have more interesting choices. Because currently it's just about, do you want to do that challenge or not, and you basically always have to accept it if you want the high score. And then it's basically just annoying. But with the Ilaria submission, we are supposed to have like super interesting stuff, like buffing the boss, making him faster, maybe making the player faster. Similar effects to the seeds, but more impactful during the run. And if we do that, we also should have like this classic 3 selection thing. Select out of 3 or select out of 2. Probably 3. So it feels more like a roguelite, right? That you have to actually choose stuff optimally during the run. The question is, yeah, it's... the challenges themselves don't change. It is just the rewards that change. Present the... choose one. That's the idea, right? And then randomize rewards. So that will be some kind of weighted random, probably again. Weighted random. And then probably dictionary, we can call it that. Weighted random out of list. But not only that, it's not just... How many challenges do we have? We only have like 3, right? Score challenge, rush challenge, target challenge, and rhythm challenge, and piranha challenge. Or swarm challenge. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 2 of them are kind of special. Wait, no, it's not. It's 2. It's only rush and target. Rush, target, rhythm, and piranha. Maybe we just present 2, but we only have 3. If you only have 4 challenges, it's kind of weird to have 3 always as selection. Or maybe you always get like selection between rush and target, so you can always choose if you want one or the other. If you prefer doing rush challenges. Although the rush challenges are kind of boring in general. How how do we make this more interesting? Oh, wait. What if the challenge is not... It's not a selection between challenges, but just a selection between rewards? Did we write something down on the winner thing? Cycle winners? We discussed this. So Hilaria said in Discord, I really like Kohari's idea with the free cards where you get a choice to pick one, but depending on the scope, I'm fine with basically anything. The idea was just to add a way to heal you. I don't know if it still counts as one submission, but I have an idea for a card only for Swarm Challenge. Set HP to 1 on success heal to full. Oh. So like a 1 HP Swarm Challenge. I don't even remember that. What did I say? What was Hilaria referencing here? Let's see. Oh, I think it was in reference to something I said on stream. And I don't remember, but it's fine. We wrote it down a little bit. I need to do. So challenge select screen. What do you think, Chad? Should I do like you get the rush challenge 3 times? Oh god, my voice is dying. 1 second. So you get the rush challenge 3 times and then you select between different rewards? Or should you always get the option between the different challenges? I guess you do a 1 out of 2. And give less options, rather. So people can choose the least bad option. First one is good. Choosing reward sounds good. So get the same challenge 3 times and choose the reward. We really need new challenges as well. I think we'll just make it 3, but with redrawing. So we make 3 challenges to select, but it can be the same. So it just chooses 3 with randomized rewards on all of them. And then it could be 3 of the same with 3 different rewards. It could also be 3 different ones with the same reward, in a way. Although not really, because the rhythm challenge is kind of special. So I guess we make a... yeah, it's a special thing now. Alright, so... let's say... yeah, let's make a pool of challenges and a pool of rewards. And then choose 3 mix and match. Like that. I think that is something that could work out. Right, so let's start with the pool of challenges which we basically already have. Let's say choose 3 mix and match. Okay, it's fun. So we start with DC4. And there will probably just be gameplay cycle. And then in here, does the higher cycle already have a selection of challenges? Probably would. And the base. No. It works differently because the rhythm challenge is a special challenge. So we kind of have to rework the entire thing. Hello, Capybara, welcome. So there is... Wait, is there no challenge listed at all? Challenge parent. Challenge selection, that's the one. I guess you don't have to entirely rework it, because the challenge selection is... Yeah, I think we'll reuse that, and then keep the rhythm challenge and the swarm challenge as a special. Wait, is the swarm challenge even a special? Where's the scene? So what do we have? It is... Why is this still Kohari E3? Was like something that is... Yeah. This was introduced in 3.2.1. Welcome back on Force, welcome. Can you add a demo to your game on Steam? It would be easier for me whether to buy it or not after trying it once. Yeah, probably. I kind of wanted to... I wanted to do that for the Steam Next Fest last year. And then it turned out that the Steam Next Fest actually... You can only participate if you're not already released. And Early Access already counts as released, so I wasn't able to add it to the Next Fest anyway, and then we kind of didn't do the demo. It's a lot of work to put like a separate demo build, kind of. Because the game doesn't really work. Like, I don't know what feature of the game would be limited to the demo at the moment, because it's so small that I can't really say, oh, this is the demo part, this is the real game part. Because the game is based on people deciding what happens every update, right? So if the leaderboard is open, everyone who plays basically just plays to get their ideas on the leaderboard for the next update. And the game currently is not really very sophisticated, so there's no point in just playing the game for fun. Although I guess people do have fun, like it is kind of shaping up to be something that can be played for fun. But the point is kind of to get a high score and get on the leaderboard to get your idea in the game, right? So if I said the demo, in the demo you can only play, but you can't actually submit your ideas, then you would have the full game, but there would be kind of no point. But I guess you could do that. We could say that we make a demo where you can't play the game as much as you want. So you get the full game, but you're not allowed to submit on the leaderboard. That we could kind of do. Also, initially, I actually wanted the game to remain free on itch.io. But for that we would need some help from the itch.io team. Because it has like this end user license agreement that we have to include, but there is no way to include it or to prevent people from downloading the game without accepting the TOS, so to speak. And there's kind of no feature on itch.io where I could do that. I'm kind of waiting for that. I did write an email to them, they never replied. Which is unfortunate. We could do that, or maybe after the game developed more. Yeah, I think I will add a demo. I think, yeah, we will do that. But, yeah, probably after Cycle 4 is done. Yeah. So once Cycle 4 is done, there will be a 2-week period where the leaderboard is open, and then I probably will also, during that time, we could implement the demo build. I don't know how quickly we could do that. I guess it's not too hard to do. Maybe I should put that on my to-do list for next week. If you limit the demo to previous updates, not the last playable cycle. You mean... Yeah, we could say you don't have access to the actual game, you only have access to the hub and the arcade. love watching you talk about random things. I'm glad to hear that. That's the best. That is the best, because then I can stream whatever I want, whenever I want, and you will still be watching. So, thank you. Yeah, I think we will add a demo. But technically you could just buy it, right? There's not really 2 hours of content, so you could just buy it and refund it if you don't like it. Although it will impact my stats negatively, I don't mind. Just try it out, and if you don't like it, or if you don't want to be part of the community project in the future, then you can just refund it. Or buy it later again if it's more developed. Do whatever. There's definitely not 2 hours of gameplay, that I can tell you. Like, one run is like 20 minutes. Well, you know, you could do a bunch of runs and farm some coins to get or some shells to get the other upgrades and stuff. So definitely can get 2 hours out of it. Well, but while the leaderboard is closed, there's not really much to do. Wait, why is it not working? Oh, it is working, never mind. It was loading shaders. Yeah, just try it out. It's only $2. This is probably a long shot, but if I ever get a high score and would like to make a suggestion, can a suggestion be I'm going to commission art for you to add in the game? I'm going to commission art for you to add in the game. Let me check. Let me check the guidelines, what the guidelines say. Let's see. Okay, so keep it specific, clear description, no ambiguity. Keep it clean, no special characters, no mature language, no hate speech, no sexual themes, no real-life politics, no patently offensive content. Modifying existing features is allowed if not at odds with other rules. Replacing entire systems is allowed if the system has the same general function. Removal is only allowed if it wins a community favorite. Only one concept, short and precise, reasonable scope. Yeah, I guess it's not against the rules. And now let me think of it. Let me think if I even want that to be possible, or if I want to update the rules. So basically, you want me to make... What does it even mean? Commission. I'm going to commission art for you. Also, you are commissioning someone else to make art, and then you want me to put it in the game? I don't know. That sounds like a legal nightmare. Because if you give me stuff to put in the game, I would have to write up a agreement, like a licensing agreement, that I can actually use that art from you. And if you commission it, you would also have to make sure that the artist that you commission it from gives you the same license agreement. So it is kind of difficult, because, yeah, I would have like a full legal procedure with you then. We do have a, well, let me check the user license agreement actually. Maybe it's already covered. It's been so long. Let's see. Yura. How's it empty? Oh, that's not good. Wait, is it actually empty? Uh-oh. No, it's not empty. Okay, let's see. So, review and acceptance. Rights you grant. You hereby grant Little Needle Interactive and non-exclusive, worldwide royalty-free, blah blah blah. Use, modify, reproduce, distribute, display, and integrate your submission in the game and in any promotional But it's just submission. It doesn't cover assets. Yeah, it's not covered. And I know I had like a draft of this initially, where I also put in stuff to put on Discord. Like if you want something on Discord that is covered here too. But in this case, it is not. So yeah, it's kind of difficult. What do you for a living? You're watching me doing it right now. That is what I do for a living. Although I'm not sure how long it actually lasts to provide for my living, but you know, it is an attempt, and hopefully we will do this for a living in the future too. But yeah, if you are asking what I did for a living before I did this, she's a game-driven streamer, exactly. You're reading guidelines for a living? God damn it, Tingle. I was a... It's kind of weird because the job title is always weird, but let's just say I'm a web developer. Or I was a web developer before I started streaming. Being a demon pufferfish queen is hard. Exactly. You only get like 12 hours of sleep. You can only game for the other 12. You only have 12 hours to game for the other half of the day. It's rough. There's no downtime between having fun and sleeping. It's really hard. Alright. Hope you succeed. Thank you. Currently, the trajectory seems to indicate that we will be succeeding, and I hope that will be true as well. Truly difficult, exactly. I'm just tapping between different screens, as you can see, because I'm talking and don't know what to do with my hands. So basically, since you're on the topic already, so one of the reasons I have not been able to develop or continue development on this is that I was receiving unemployment benefits for a while in the downtime. So what I'm waiting on is like I kind of didn't want to talk about this on stream, but I'm also kind of mentioned it somewhere, I think, before. Like, there's a requirement that you can't really work over a certain amount of time, otherwise you lose your benefits. And there is a way to go around that restriction, and that way I have applied for, and that I'm still waiting on confirmation. Although it should already be confirmed. That is why we are currently starting game development again. Because technically I have been more or less approved, but I'm still waiting on the official documents. But I am, of this month, no longer receiving unemployment benefits, which is why I can do game development again. Basically, that's the TLDR. Just wanted an opinion of yours. How long does it take to code a game like Oni, and would you be able to do it? Like, is it in your domain or something? That is a really difficult question to answer. I think I could do it. I think Oni is one of those games that are fairly simple regarding visuals, even though it looks great and has like a bunch of assets. But technically, like, it is individual assets. It's 2D assets that are fairly easy to like just make over time, right? If you're like willing to, like, if you don't aim for like insane visuals, for like this insane amount of quality that you get in Oni. So let's say we can make all of the assets because it's just individual assets, and then the system, like the placement system, is just on a grid. which should be fairly easy. Then all of the like navigation is also on the grid, so you don't even have to do anything with collision and stuff. Like, you don't have to do much with collision. It's all just navigation, and it's all grid based, so that is fairly simple. And then the individual mechanics, like building things, getting resources, and stuff like that, is also fairly simple to implement. Where it gets really hard is the physics engine for gases and liquids, and the gameplay in general. But so game design is the hardest part of Oni, to make it balance and feel fun and be fun. But like the core mechanics and the core loop should be doable. But how long? That is very hard to answer. How does the AI work in the game? If you could explain it to me. You mean in Oni? I don't know how they do that. You mean like the dupes? Like the duplicant AI? How they walk around and stuff? Like, I haven't played a lot of Oni, and I didn't really analyze it much. But it does look like they just have some kind of priority queue system. So they basically have a range. Like, since there's the priority overlay, right? So all of the priority overlay, if you put on the priority overlay, there's numbers, so you can kind of see where all of the different items are that could go into the priority queue. So I'm assuming that each duplicant has a certain amount of range, and then all of the things that are in range of the duplicant get put into the queue in order, depending on the number, and then they just go through it one by one. And then depending on how you set the schedule and the like individual priorities, they probably get distributed between the duplicants, so there's not two duplicants working on the same thing. Something like that. It's probably a lot more complicated than it sounds, that I'm describing it, but like the principle should be something like that. How to figure out their shortest route? Which game engine is it using? Let's see. Oxygen not included engine. Is it Unity? It is Unity. Unity to the navigation. I don't know if they use like a custom solution, but when you click on a duplicant, you can see their path. Like, there's a line drawn to their destination. So it is probably just some kind of nav mesh that is also grid-based. I think Unity has a nav mesh pathfinding. Yeah, there's nav mesh pathfinding in Unity for 2D games. But I'm not entirely sure if they are using that, because it seems simpler than having enough nav mesh. Because it is, like, the individual tiles are fairly large on the grid. So I don't even know if you need a complex nav mesh. You probably could just calculate the grid with a pathfinding algorithm, and then just take the shortest path. I don't know how complex it is. It's probably easier to do with nav mesh though. But it will be more performant if you do a proper pathfinding algorithm, grid-based one. One more thing, what exactly decides how much RAM is enough for a game? I have a potato PC and it starts lagging in late mid-game. I think it's an engine limitation. Like in Rimworld as well. Like Rimworld has like a bunch of... like Rimworld scales up fairly large if you have a bunch of colonists. And I think it is, navigation is a lot of the computation, because pathfinding algorithms are not cheap. So the more people you have, the harder it gets to calculate the pathing. So if you have a lot of dupes, that will slow the game down probably. And if the base is really large, it will get more expensive to calculate pathing, I think. But I don't know, I haven't gotten into mid-late game in Oni yet, so I can't tell. Because if they are actually range-based, like I said earlier, then it would probably be limited. But they can't be, right? Because they have to be able to reach faraway places as well. And what decides how much RAM you need? I don't know. That is also out of my scope, probably. I don't even know if RAM is the limiting factor here, because usually pathfinding is like a CPU intensive task. So if your CPU is on the lower end, that is gonna be difficult. It's probably not a GPU based limitation. Or RAM for that matter. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not like super high level on that stuff. Oh, low level. Wait, which one is the more closer to like assembly code? Is it low level or high level? Probably low level, right? My voice is cracking a lot. I bought some water. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let me drink some water. Damn, this is turning into an interview. Or just chatting stream. I've heard that it also depends on how the developers optimize the game. How much does it affect on RAM usage? A lot, probably. But is it really RAM? I'm not sure. How much RAM do you have? Like usually at least the VRAM limitations are quite tight on like visually impressive titles, like Unreal Engine 5 titles. You need a lot of VRAM. But the regular RAM? It depends. I guess if you have like a powerful CPU, it clears the RAM more quickly. If you have a less powerful one, you need more. I'm not sure. 8 gigs, okay, that is not a lot. Wait, that can't be right. That can't be right. You probably have 8 gigs of VRAM, surely. The only RAM you get is the one I'm going to give you later. Wait, what? What did you mean by that? Don't answer that. Yeah, it's probably just CPU. 4700U with 8 gigs of RAM. 8 gigs of RAM. 5747. Oh, it's a laptop. I see. What are the specs of Oni? Oxygen not included. What does it say? Yeah, it only needs 4. It is fairly light, I guess. Yeah, not much I can tell you there. I can only guess. I am poor. That's fine. You can still play it though, right? It just gets a little bit more laggy in the end game. Or is it becoming like unplayable? I mean, RAM is getting really expensive now, so it's probably hard to upgrade, especially if it's a laptop. Since you can't really just add another RAM stick on the laptop, right? You would have to buy a new one, I guess. Get like 14 to 20 FPS late mid game. I see. Yeah. The problem is also you can't really lower the like graphics quality because it's not a graphics issue, if I had to guess. I think what's also intense in Oni is probably like the gas physics, like gas and liquid physics that are going on all the time. Probably not just the navigation of the dupes. Thank you for the answers, it was very fun. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the little interview, just chatting section. I love talking about that stuff too. So, thank you for asking. I love talking and thinking about that stuff. Yeah, I think Oni is the type of game that would be one of the games that I could make alone. Like, things that I want to make are probably more difficult because they use a lot of like visual effects that I would love doing. But visual effects I'm really bad at, and graphics. Like, like Oni is like the type of game that just needs assets, which you can easily make with AI nowadays. Like these types of assets, like we also have in Itagi. So I could just over time just get a collection of assets, make my own. But when it comes to visual effects, it gets more difficult. Because visual effects aren't really a soft science at all. Like, it's just trying things out and hoping that it looks good. With like particle effects and stuff, like we have here with the bubbles. Just played around with it and then it kind of looked good at some point. But if you want to do like explosions and stuff, it definitely gets more complicated. People who know how hot. Thank you. I'm playing RDR 1 right now on my laptop and it works fine. Or Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, then it's probably a CPU RAM limitation. Because Red Dead Redemption probably is very light on CPU and RAM and is more like graphically intensive. Let's see. Red Dead Redemption. Wait, is it on Steam? Yes. When did the first one come out? Wait, that can't be right. Was it like a remaster? Rockstar Games presents Red Dead Redemption 24? Was it released exclusively on like consoles and then in 24 it released on Steam? Yeah, because Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in 2019. Wait, how old is Red Dead Redemption? I never played them, so... Initial release date. 2010. Damn, that is old. It maxes out my RAM usage. I think the game is super old, you know. But a good thing that there are plenty of games that can be played on scuffed hardware. Like Binding of Isaac, like Oni, like a bunch of small indie games. Better 2 probably does not have a lot of requirements. I'm planning on buying PS5 soon, so it would all be better. That does sound like it would be a big upgrade. Alright, let's actually get some work done. So where were we? Pool of challenges and pool of rewards. I was saying that we do technically have a list of challenges, and I was looking up if this list contains the Piranha challenge. Like the Swarm challenge. Where is the list? Yeah, challenge selection. So it does have the Brush challenge, the Score Target challenge, and the Piranha challenge. Or Swarm challenge. So the only special challenge is the rhythm game, which we probably keep special because it has like a different reward structure. Where do we define the rewards? I do my work now. Bye. Well, Capybara, thank you for stopping by and good luck with your work. Thank you for blessing us with your knowledge, Your Highness. You're welcome, you're welcome. Hope stream's going well. Came to lurk for a bit while working. And wink alien, look away. So challenge. Thank you for that, pets too. Bloop, 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 bloop. Another pet redeem. Thank you, thank you. Also, let me drink a sip. Alright, so, challenges. Score challenge is the base class, and score challenge gets rewards and reward penalty. And hard controls, what is that? Jeez. Duration, progress, reward, penalty. So if you want to restructure how the challenges work, we have to override this, right? Did we ever update the base class? Probably not. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So we would make a child class of this one, right? Duration, progress, reward, penalty. It will still have a duration. It will still have the progress. And the reward and penalty would be randomized. But that is a label. So the actual reward and penalty is this. So we have to think about how we want to do this, because if I just make a child class, we do keep those values. Doesn't mean we have to use them, but it does mean that we have to either replace them with something new and then disregard them, or we make a new base class, like something completely different. Question is, how much overlap do we still have? Because these rewards also have like the... Yeah, they also have the UI on them. So we do want to keep that logic. Actually, no, we don't want to keep that logic, because you can't just accept and decline it anymore. So let's check the gameplay cycle class, or the scene, how it handles the challenges. The challenge failed and succeeded as it X. Challenge spawned armor. And then we have the overlay. Challenge parent. And they get added here. And then score depletion armor. Oh, that's these things that were added. So we can't really... I kind of want to make like something completely new in the future, where we don't inherit from the older classes, but I feel like it doesn't work. It needs to stay compatible. But at the same time, if the gameplay changes a lot, we probably need to figure out a different system. At some point, they resync the things that are required always in a different way. Or it kinda is like the base class of this is, I think it's sharing standard, right? Game ended, Discord, BGM, submission and title screen, pause overlay, win and lose pop-up, shell factor, cursor based, high score score and local score. Yeah, that one is fairly bare bones. So technically, we could just inherit from that instead of inheriting from the ERC screen. So break the inheritance in between if you want to branch off. What was added in 3? It's probably difficult to... Yeah, we should keep the inheritance about and just deprecate the things that aren't compatible anymore. So So this one has combo breaker, decoy fail, decoy shielded, challenge fail, challenge parent, spawn, challenge selection, spawn timer, and container. And then 2 doesn't matter, 3 doesn't matter. So we can inherit from 3 probably. So we don't really have to change the challenge selection because it is an area of resource, so we can just add it here. And all of the logic is overrideable. So the gameplay is set up well for this. Right, and I think how we did it, we resectored some of the older variables to an earlier stage so we can separate them in the different cycles later. So we can do the same here by taking the reward value and penalty and make it specific to cycle 2, and then make a parent class score challenge. Might just also call it just challenge because it's not score based anymore. So we call it score challenge E61, and then we make a base challenge class. And then we call the new one challenge EAC4 instead of score challenge. So the score challenge gets reward and penalty, which is just a score integer. And then a new challenge gets something more sophisticated. I think that's the way to do it. Also, there is currently an ad, so let me go real quick to the bathroom. I'll be right back. See you in 2 minutes. Alright. I think I'm back. Oops. I'm not used to you seeing like all of the stuff in my taskbar. Need to get used to that again so I don't dox myself. Although there's probably nothing to dox. Oh, there's already something I doxed. No, it's fine. No personal information will be there, probably. Alright, so let us continue. It's fine. You do see that though, right? Yeah. So we make a challenge. Let me keep the score challenge because it is... No, it's not gonna be... Do we actually want to make something completely new and scrap the score challenges because it's not a score challenge any longer? Maybe the challenge just shouldn't give score at all. What was the submission? Like the wording in the submission. I guess I can open the thing again of the Steam and Homes mails on the actual store page. Make rewards high risk for higher rewards, so players need to think more on which challenges to accept. Gain or lose health, buffs or debuffs, speed, damage, something. Should we completely redesign rewards in general and like don't give score at all and only have interesting choices that modify the run? And then your score is just based on how it modifies the run. Can't always have W's, so some things you'll have to roll. I really love that. I guess we still have some kind of score challenge for the rhythm game, but then all the game becomes to optimize is like get as many rhythm games as you can. So what do we want the game to be with the challenges? Like optimally, the challenges influence how hard it is to get a high score, right? Currently, you just need to complete as many challenges as possible, which is a form of optimization already, so you have to like make sure that you don't miss, that you don't fail any of the challenges and accept them all. If we remove score rewards from the challenges, that means that all you have to do to optimize is get as high combo as possible. And what the challenges change in that regard is how easy or hard it is to do that. So if you give, for example, movement speed or dash distance, it would be easier to keep the combo alive because it's gonna be easier to reach the bubble in time, right? Or if you give like a speed penalty, it will be harder. If you give the boss more HP or less HP, he could die sooner, which would... Wait, would it even matter anymore? Like if the boss dies sooner... So previously it was that if the boss died too soon, you wouldn't get any more challenges, right? So you couldn't get more points for the challenges. But since the damage you do to the boss is directly tied to how many points you get, technically if you removed challenges completely, then it wouldn't matter how quickly you kill the boss in terms of score. It would just mean you get more runs, right? So you can, like, if you reduce the boss health, you would kill him easier, so you get another one. Or you can farm quicker. So that is kind of pointless. And I don't like how the rhythm game is the soul factor. It's like luck if you get the rhythm game. So we probably should remove the point reward from the rhythm game as well. Design choices. So maybe we should make it harder to kill Meganom, and then all of the challenges will help you in actually killing him. If you want to optimize for score, and then the challenge becomes to get good instead of just optimizing time. But what does that really mean? Like, increasing and decreasing the health of Meganom doesn't do much. But changing the speed of the player or the boss does. Maybe it should be a lot harder to survive. But I think for a lot of people it is already pretty hard to survive. So the challenges would help you or make it harder. So high risk, high reward. So players need to think more. So it's like a dual approach, right? So you give if you give a debuff to the player, you get a buff to the score. If you give a buff to the player, you give a debuff to the score. We could do that as well. So we could say that we say if you take a speed boost, you get a score penalty. I'm not sure about that either. Like let's say you don't give the score penalties, then it's like a choice of, it's like a gameplay preference thing. Like you could give like more health and slow down, like make your character beefier or get like health back and stuff like that, to not pay the cost of dying. Or yeah, I think you do kind of have to do something that gives you more score, otherwise it gets kind of pointless, right? If you don't change the amount of score you get, then what would you even optimize for? Like if someone is already good at the game and never gets hit by anything, then he doesn't have to do any challenges if there's no score reward. Right? Also, I forgot to fill up my water. 1 second. This is kind of hard to conceptualize. So with the seed, I'm back by the way. With the seed system, you already have some way to customize if you want to like be, if you want to get more score or like a health regeneration thing or something. So the challenge system kind of needs to be a little bit different. Yeah, I think we need to. Like, one of them needs to be score, and one of them needs to be gameplay. So it's like always a trade-off between score and buffs, or less score and penalties. Score, penalty, and player buff versus score, bonus, and player penalty. Otherwise, it's kind of weird. Or if you have 3 choices anyway, Like if one of the choice is like 10% more score, and the other choice is like 20% more health, that's kind of pointless too. You would always choose the score, right? Because it's not that hard to avoid things. But if the choice is between more score and a longer combo timer, then it becomes more interesting. So maybe it should be that there's a chance that you either get a score modifier or a boss modifier or a player modifier. And if you get a player modifier, you have 3 choices of player modifiers. If you get a score modifier, you have 3 choices of score modifiers. And if you have a boss modifier, it's 3 choices of boss modifiers. And that way you always have some kind of interesting choice in the same category. So you don't have to choose between like surviving more or getting tankier and score. You can just focus on gameplay changing challenges and score changing challenges. So what would that look like? Like boss health is one of the things, right? If you increase the boss health, well, you know, it's, I don't know, like if it's, let's say boss health is one of the things, it would be less boss health or more boss health. But one of them is a buff and one of them is a debuff. It's not really a choice. You would always take the one that gives you more score in that case. I guess it could be like the oh right, we do have reward and penalty. So the penalty is, oh okay, I think I got it. I forgot what the system is. I'm kind of speculating around things that don't even matter that much. So you always have a reward and you always have a penalty. So the reward for succeeding could always be a score reward, and the penalty for failing could always be to make the game more difficult. And then you can say take it or leave it. So you can say I don't want to risk that, I don't do anything. That sounds more like it would make more sense, right? So, and then we could have different categories anyway, and have like the rewards be either a buff or a score bonus, and the penalty a debuff or a score debuff. Right? So for example, you could get a challenge selection that has 3 different rewards. One of them is 10% player speed, one of them is 10% score multiplier, and the third one is 10% health regeneration or something. And then the penalties are more boss health, less player health, or less combo counter or something, or combo duration. Should it always be the equivalent though? If you have like a score reward, it could just be 10% more score versus 10% less score. So 10% more score if you succeed and 10% less if you fail. I feel like that is not as interesting. More boss health, more enemies. Well, we don't really have enemies in the game. I guess you could say the swarm challenge becomes more difficult. Like one of the penalties could be if you fail, the swarm challenge becomes more difficult. It's gonna get complicated though. So, what did we have here? Buff, debuff, Meganon, buff, debuff, player, recover, take damage. Pool of penalties. And then choose 3 mix and match. We also need to make sure that you don't get like the... Right, no. I guess it shouldn't be symmetrical. Like if you get a reward that says succeed 10% more score and fail 10% less score, it's kind of boring. Because it's not really... Like it's not really an interesting choice to make. Like all the choice that you make is, do I want to risk it or not? Am I able to complete the challenge or not? And then you always take it if you think you can. And you never take it if you think you can't. But if it's like something like lose health, like gain score or lose health, then you can say, I have more than enough HP, I can take that risk. So it's you have like another level. It's more like risk management instead of just a straight up choice. There's like another layer to what you can and cannot do depending on your current circumstances. So asymmetrical, not plus 10, minus 10. Equivalence. So then it's more interesting because you sacrifice. Well, you don't really sacrifice anything, so you probably will take all challenges that give score bonuses, but you always have the risk to get like, if you fail it, to get weaker to the point where you can't sustain anymore. The reward doesn't always have to be more score, like less health, more speed, for example. Yeah. So pool of rewards should probably be speed, health, regen, multiplier, score, multiplier, combo timer, damage. You don't really have a damage system, it's just score, so probably not. You could also do like, if you do boss health as well, on like boss health goes down on a reward. You could technically save it intentionally to get the boss health lower or higher to give you more time to get more score, but it's kind of stupid. I'm not sure if I like that. It's kind of a cute extra layer for like specialized setups, but not really. Now, more damage isn't the thing. The score should always be tied to the damage. Because more damage just means that you get less score before the boss dies and you don't have less score overall. Like, you don't really, there's no health system. It's just score. Because the boss takes damage from combos. Score combos. Although we could link it. So if you do, yeah, it is already linked. Like if you increase the amount of score, then you already increase the amount of damage as well. Like if we unlink it, you could give like more. Wait, then what's the point? We have to unlink it. Because what's the point of more score if it's gonna be more damage as well? What is the current setup? Auto score, let's see. Boss. Boss health components. No. Negative. Take damage. The amount is based on the cursor value divided by 50 on the basic cursor. But if basic cursor rounded, multiply the amount by the cursor value divided by 50, and else just reduce the amount. Wait, what does that mean? Why 50? Whatever, dummy. What is it goes over? Upgrade data, active cursor level. Let's see. Doesn't this mean if you divide by the cursor value only for the basic cursor, then all the other cursors do full damage? Oh yeah, that is the point. But why 50? Because that's the base. Oh, base score 50. So this should be base score. We should divide by the base score, because if the base score changes, we have to update that. Where's the base score even found? Score, get base score. Modified base score. Oh, this already recognizes the basic cursor though. Wait, but what does it... Wait a minute. Cursor value. Let's see, basic cursor has a cursor value of 100. So it's 2. Amount multiplied by 2. Yeah, I think we left it like this because the base score is actually not the base score. If you do get base score, it actually changes based on what seeds you have. Yeah. So we would have to introduce another variable that sets the actual base score. And that one is the modified base score. But let's ignore this for now. Let's just put a note. Or like a to-do. Or base score. And don't set the node. Divide by actual base score. I'm trying my best to help with whatever small knowledge I have about game and being a game dev. It's fine. Just interact and help. It always helps, even if you just have some input to see opinions and stuff in chat. To hear my thoughts and stuff, you know. But that's fine for now. So, for example, if we had like cursor value 75, we divide by 50. It's 1.5, so it's 50% more score. Take damage amount. That is just a score word, surely. Where's it called? Oh no. Weak spotted. Or is it just weak spot? Like it's not actually going to the grid line. That's all beta stuff. Like, where can't I see where it's called? Is it just on hit? Player take damage. Oh, here. On combo change. Take damage. There's combo multiplier minus 500. Multiplied by 500 and 250. Magic numbers classic. So it does take more damage. To 1. If it's already... So combo multiplier multiplied by 500. Also, the damage is not based on the score. It's a hard value based on combo multiplier. So it takes damage based on the multiplier. So if the multiplier is 10, it takes 10 times 500. So 5,000 damage at 50 combo. So it's actually not exactly tied to the score. Not at all, actually. So if you increase the base score, you don't do more damage. But on the basic cursor, you do. Isn't that incorrect? I kind of feel like I have to go through the old patch rules to see what we changed. Minigame. 50 contact damage, take 500 damage per 10 combo multiplied by current combo multiplier. Take 2000 damage from weak spot hits during charge attack. Stagger when weak spot is hit during final phase. Take 250 damage per hit when staggered multiplied by current combo multiplier. Escape. Carry score 50,000. So, were there any changes to that? There's just shell changes. Spawns on a fixed timer. Let's see. Music fixed. Can no longer be damaged through regular combo hits during final phase stagger, which caused him to give double points when defeated middle. Oh, right. That was to prevent like double hits that I explained last time. Where if you finish him off with a 10 combo, he gets damaged twice and rewards the 50,000 points twice. Combo timer starts after the finish. Declining 16 challenges. Chronometry dash with flash. None of the above. Was there another patch after that? Yeah. Not really. Okay, so what does that mean for us? If we don't use a basic cursor, we deal damage every 10 combo. based on the multiplier. So if we use, for example, the ice combo, we can get to the 10 combo more quickly, which gives us 10 times the score, but it also does 10 times the damage. So we do the same amount of damage, but we would also get like the full benefit of the in-betweens. Like we would get 10 times the score on like every... Like all the scores multiplied by 10 unless it's a 10 combo. Which means more score overall, right? If we have the basic also, we have double the base score, which means you get double the score for everything. So if we didn't also increase the damage, the basic cursor would just always have double the score. Because the boss dies way later. So the equip basic cursor would be the only viable option. So the current trade-off is that you get more consistently double points and you have a higher ceiling, even though the boss dies twice as fast as well. It's kind of weird, because I thought the basic cursor was still the best. Because if the boss dies twice as fast, you get less challenges, right? But with the ice cursor, you don't get him twice as fast. I guess you also get like half the points in between. But if it's all about challenges, the ice cursor would be way better. Unless you also regard the rhythm game. Because the challenges don't give extra, right? Yeah, they don't do damage. And the weak spot is just a fixed thing. Maybe we should also give him like points. Also give score on weak spot, so it's viable to get the weak spot as well, and that one should be multiplied by the combo as well. That way you would want to go into the boss phase on a high combo and then pause it or something. Or you would try to keep up your combo during the boss fight, so you can actually get the weak spot score bonus. Let's put it onto door somewhere. Oh, we did write something down here. Buff weaken boss damage versus speed. Weaken player damage, speed, maneuverability. Restore lose HP. Speed up, slow down combo timer. Speed up, slow down game time. Game time? Or like the duration. So it boss spawns faster or something. Gain lose extra shields. Temporary combo multiplier on limit. Or like a 20-second buff. These are good ideas too. Good ideas too. I guess it did have some things that we already thought about. It's been so long, I just forgot everything. What do we have written down on normal? Bullets helping attack, player attack. Splash, yeah, that's the fun things for Mega Bomb. Then rhythm balance, should run away, score breakdown, time bonus. Oh, time bonus for early kills. If we actually had a time bonus for killing Mega Bomb early, then damage would be a good option. Challenge rework, blood auto accept, minimal icons, challenge post details, new challenges, cosmetics, music player, upworld, game feed and polish, local leaderboards, rhythm challenge. UI redesign. Yeah, that's all just, that's nothing of that is gameplay. Alright, so let's put it down on leftovers. Boom. What were we talking about? The weak spot should give score. I guess it's either or. Like time bonus early kill, weak spot score. Because if the weak spot only does damage but you get a time bonus instead, that would be worth doing. Let's put it separately. So weak spot score. Weak spot gives score question mark. Multiplied by combo. Worth doing. Say we was weak spot rework. Give score based on damage times combo. Could just say give score bonus and then explain why. But if it, I guess it should be multiplied by combo though. I don't know. Let's see if there's an open question. Should weak spot give score question mark multiplied damage by combo goes between maintaining combo and base damage question mark. I don't know. Something to think about some other time. Okay, it's good to know though. To remind ourselves how it was working in the past. So what's the theory? If you use the base cursor, you could technically get a 10 times multiplier on the rhythm game. And because you have the double base score, you have a 20 times multiplier. But if you use the ice cursor, you could get to the 10 times more consistently and get multiple rhythm games with 10 times. But technically you would always get less score because it have like only half. So the only viable cursor is the base cursor at the moment. And with the new changes of reducing, of like changing the base, what was before? 2020, 100. What are the new changes? So the base cursor has 100 base score instead of 50. But the seeds, you can use basic seeds to get 10 extra. So like 3 basic seeds for the base cursor is a 30% increase. But for all the other cursors, it would be a lot more. It would be like 80% increase. Which is still like when you use the ice cursor, for example, you would still have less than the basic cursor. Because then you have an 80 base. And the basic cursor has 130. But you are closing the gap. So it's more viable because you do have the benefit of maintaining combos. Alright. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Let's think about the rewards again. So how would it influence, now that we know that again, how would it influence the run if like boss health changes? Let's say you get like a bunch of challenges and you always choose 50% less health. Or you always choose less health on the boss. So you can kill him more quickly. That would mean that if the boss dies more quickly, you have less chance for like rhythm games and stuff, so it gets just worse overall because there's no time bonus. But if there was a time bonus, then it would be reliable. So we should have a time bonus. Probably should have a time bonus overall. Maybe I should put this as a priority. Otherwise the challenges don't get interesting enough, I guess. Well, at least if there is a time bonus, then if there is no time bonus, we can't add boss health as a modifier. Otherwise, it's just pointless. We could put it as a penalty to reduce the boss's health, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, let's put that on the challenge rework. Let's say boss health if time bonus is implemented. Then increasing the boss health would be a penalty, which would mean it takes longer to kill him, which would mean there is a higher chance for him to run away, and there's also less time bonus. And reducing his health would not only make it easier to kill him before the time runs out, before he runs away, it would also mean you get more time bonus. Oh, I forgot about one aspect of the boss, because the last phase of the boss has a special mechanic where you get a bunch of damage as well. But is the final phase only damage, or is it also score? Stagger heal. Boss staggered. If boss staggered, you do less damage, but you do it per hit instead of per combo. But that one doesn't give you score. So you don't get any score. It's just to help you kill the boss in time at the very end. Which I think is a good thing. Because if it gave score, you would always optimize to get to that stage instead of killing him early. But we could also say that he always goes into that stage. I guess it is the case with normal submission anyway. If you kill him early, you get to the final boss stage. And if you don't kill him early, you get to the stagger stage. And after that to the final boss stage. So the stagger stage shouldn't give bonus points because it takes more skill to kill him early. Alright. And then we can actually do the boss health thing. So combo time was comboed by reaching half speed, and down here we had... Oh, we could also weaken and buff the damage and speed. Maybe even in context of the final phase. Like, if we didn't really think much about the final phase, but technically, if the final phase is something hard and you just die easily, then it would matter if the boss is like mods on him. And it would also matter more if you as a player have more health and health regeneration. But then again, since we are only choosing between succeeding and failing on the challenges, the boss would only have these modifiers when you actually fail challenges. So someone who succeeds all challenges kind of makes the boss easier. I feel like it's a little bit boring as well. Like, a good player should have a more challenging boss fight, right? But if the boss gets just easier... Like, it's like a double punishment issue that when you fail your challenge, now the boss is even harder. And then a bad player has an even harder time on the boss as well. Maybe it should really be like a risk versus reward setup. Did you always get like a combo? So you have a choice between increasing boss health and getting a score bonus. Or reducing boss health and getting a score bonus. Or no score bonus. I don't know, it's so weird to choose and conceptualize. Like, what should the penalties be? I guess it's your own fault. Like, okay, so here's the problem. If you had like artifacts, let's say it's an item choice, like is usually the case, right, for other games. Penalty can be a substitute and so if it was not a challenge system but an item system, then it would make sense to combine them. You would take an item, the item gives you more score, but also makes the boss more difficult. So you choose between different items, and then it's fine, right? Because you can just choose, do I want to live longer, or do I want to have more score but risk dying? But since it is a challenge, you kind of already have the risk of losing the reward, And then additionally, you get like the risk reward item. So you're taking on... You need to succeed the challenge to be even able to get... I don't know, it's really weird to explain too. Oh god, my voice is dying. I can say... Oh god. Is my voice actually fully dying now? Oh my god, I think I never had it. Wait, 1 second. And oh god, I think my voice is dying. I need to start getting like lozenges. Is that the name? Hard candy. Oh yeah, lozenges. Wait, that looks so weird. What is it pronounced? Lozenges? Is that how it's pronounced? Lozenges? Cough drops? Something like that. Anyway, let's give an example. Let's say you have a reward 1, 2, 3. And reward 1 is 10% score, but 20%, 50% boss health. Reward 2 is 20% player speed, but 50% boss speed. And 3 is 50% player health, but minus 10% score or whatever. So now you can say, okay, I do struggle with survival and I'm losing the score if I die anyway. So the health would help survive and not paying the penalty. Or let's just say it is just health because you don't have a score bonus. So you choose between having a score bonus, like it's a trade-off. If you think you're good enough to kill a boss with more health, you get more score. If you think you can handle the boss speed. Kinda weird to give like 20% speed in the boss, 50%, but whatever. Let's say 20% boss damage. So you think you don't get hit with the new speed, so it's worth risking. And you think you can kill him with the health anyway, and you can risk it the score. So now it makes sense to just choose a reward, right? But once you introduce the challenges, you also need a penalty 1, penalty 2, penalty 3. So now it gets weird. Because now it's like... You would have to move over the trade-off. Right? Let's say the trade-off is then in the penalty. And the third one doesn't have a penalty. So now... It gets a little bit weird because... Siblings. Oh. So, that is more easy to see. So now it gets weird because you're no longer choosing a trade-off. You're just choosing a guaranteed buff if you're good at the game. And if you're bad at the game becomes harder. And that doesn't make any sense, right? Guess you have to rest early, mistress. Truly an unfortunate tragedy. Yeah, I guess I will. probably end the stream a little bit only today then. But for now it's fine. So how do we solve that? Because that doesn't make any sense. Like, you shouldn't have like this double risk. Like, if you're bad at completing the challenges. I mean, I guess you could say I don't take it then. But I feel like it is weird. And if we have the trade-off, like if you have an actual trade-off in challenge completion, that we do the same as before, but then we add a different penalty. What would the penalty be? It is difficult. Also, there's another ad pack, so let me go to the bathroom. I'm drinking too much water because my voice is dying, which makes me go to the bathroom more often. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Or am I? Yeah, I'm back. Right, so now you kinda have this double challenge thing if you have the risk reward on the reward. Then you need some kind of penalty that does something. Or we don't have any penalty. I guess I could just remove the penalty. And then the penalty is not having the buff. But then it also gets pointless. I guess it makes more sense to not have a penalty than though for failing a challenge. The penalty is not getting the buff. Right? There's no reason why you should have a double penalty. They would also solve the issue with bad players being punished. So don't put a penalty. And we give options that are interesting, that are penalties for the player, right? So whenever there's a score, low penalty, risk reward system. No penalty on challenge failed. I've put it up here somewhere. Actually, no, let's concept here. Keep concepting here in the actual proper category. So now it is more interesting because now you have the choice between changing your gameplay to either fit your playstyle, like playing it safe and stuff like that, not getting hit and not losing points through dying, or taking on a risk reward, so you get more score but the game gets harder. So now it's a choice between making the game easier or making the game harder for more reward. If you make the game easier, you might be able to be more consistent, and if you make the game harder, you have the potential to get higher score. I think that is the solution. So every score buff has to be accompanied by some debuff to the player or buff to the boss. So every time you want a score increase, you need to take a debuff as well. And every time you get a buff, there's no penalty involved. But in either case, if you fail the challenge, you don't get the modifier. Physical penalty, yeah. So what we want to implement here, reward I guess it's done. Randomize rewards. Rated random out of list. Challenge rewards. Oh, let's call it new rewards and penalties. Remove challenge fail penalty. And challenge reward. Challenge reward is modifier. And then it will be risk reward modifier reward list. Risk reward modifier path score plus difficulty, low difficulty, no score plus low difficulty, score plus higher difficulty. Let's go score plus debuff, and then no score plus buff. No score. So risk reward, let's call it modifier. That's fine, risk reward modifier. So score plus debuff, and then buff with no score, and then no penalties with there. call it challenge outcome. New challenge outcomes. Either risk reward modifier, a buff. Then remove penalties. And then risk reward modifier is gonna be multiplier, play positive, negative, gonna read boss health. No, well, boss. I guess you have it up here already. So new challenge outcomes, remove the penalty, and use risk reward modifiers or buffs. And then recover take damage. I guess this doesn't really make sense anymore. Challenge reward. New outcomes. No penalty. And then new outcomes. Risk reward versus buff versus what could the third option be in this case? Like game time? I guess it is classified as well. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. It's gonna be score plus debuff or a buff. Should we also do just score? It's kind of boring. I guess you could do like a larger score buff if you give a debuff and then a slight score buff. And then you could kind of take like the health buffs and to mitigate the debuffs in a way. If you take the higher ones. Just score. Better score plus debuff. Just buff. Or better buff minus score. Let's score. So just plus score. Just more score. Improved more score plus debuff. Just buff or improved buff plus less score. So 4 outcomes. Not getting it, can't really see it. Alright, so and then challenge select screen is gonna be root of challenges plus outcome. outcomes plus randomize outcomes. Challenge selection plus randomized outcomes. And then this can kind of all go. I guess it could do like a list of paths. I guess just path is kind of also score an improved path with less score, and less score is kind of a debuff. So it would just be just path versus improved path plus a debuff. And I'm doing it. Thank you. Need to gather more energy for later. Have fun. I'll still be lurking as I sleep. And it was 10 minutes ago. Sorry, Zako, but sleep well. So if it's just buff and improved buff plus debuff, you see need to make rules how they match, because if you get like increase health and then reduce health, it's kind of weird. So it should always be asymmetrical, and in this case it would not be the plus minus equivalence, it would be asymmetrical in the sense of always pair score buff with player buff. Always pair different categories. Score plus buff. Player score plus boss plus player. No, it would be kind of weird to buff the boss and the player, so it's always gonna be either score minus score plus buff or plus score minus buff. I guess I should call it differently. Have like score modifier like we did before. Do we really want to have like just plus just more score in one of the challenges? It's so boring. I feel like it gives us a little bit of variety, so it's like a dud in the pool. And the buffs are speed, health, region, score multiplier, base score, combo timer, boss health, boss speed, boss damage, final phase. Then pool of penalties is born. So we should probably could categorize them that, right? So it's gonna be score, buffs, debuffs, with plus, minus, base score, plus, minus, multiplier, plus, minus, combo timer. And then it would be layer buffs, plus, minus health, plus, minus. Damn, this is getting kinda complicated. Speed, question mark, plus, minus. Language rapidity, plus, minus regeneration, plus, minus shields. I guess shields aren't really minus. I guess it could be take damage. So you either get a shield or you take damage. Or plus minus shields, take damage with no shield. Which is kind of weird because with the shield cursor, I guess it would raise the value of the shield cursor, right? Because if you get like this as a trade-off, like negative shields or damage, let's say plus minus shield slash take damage blocked or shield. So in this case, you could, if you took the shield cursor, you could negate all of the like downsides. And get like better buffs. Ultimately. And then it's boss leaders. I guess boss modifiers and score modifiers, and then player modifiers. And this will be plus minus health, plus minus damage, plus minus speed on the phase. What else? I guess it's it, right? Make it harder by giving him more or less health. You could do something a little bit more interesting, like make the final phase last longer or something. Or get like damage is affected by, I don't know, like higher damage multiplier on the boss, like it takes more damage. I feel like it's all kind of pointless. We could do kill bonus. Kill bonus. So you could like say you take like get increased kill bonus if you kill him, so you always have the risk of not actually being able to kill him. Kill bonus multiplier. was about to suggest a bonus that could be a longer run, like plus 5, 10 seconds, but since the run is limited to the length of the songs, I don't know. A bonus that could be a longer run. But longer run is kind of pointless, right? Because it's like the same as giving the boss more health. Wait, no, you mean like the timer is longer, so the boss flees later. Maybe we are looping the songs, so there wouldn't be an issue. I think I even wrote this down. Down here. Here. Speed up or slow down game time. So increase and reduce pause timer. But what would be the point of that? I guess you risk him fleeing and not getting the bonus at all. But that one needs to be paired with a score bonus then. Otherwise it's... Yeah, I guess you could do that. Plus, minus... boss timer. You have a chance to get more time to get challenges or better combo. Yeah. Oh, you mean like the... Yeah, if you have more time, you could like make sure to drag it out. They have a higher chance of getting more stuff. Or better combo, yeah. But not really, not really. Because if you have more time to kill the boss, you still would kill him early. Like, let's say you have enough damage to kill the boss at like 80% of the time, and you increase the timer, he still dies at that time. So that only matters if you can't kill the boss in time. You would have to deliberately drag it out, which is difficult to do. I guess not that difficult with the decoy pause tech. The decoy pause tech. So technically, reducing the boss timer would come with a bonus, because it's gonna be harder. And increasing the boss timer would be just buff. I guess. Freezing boss health while bonus time is playing. You have a chance to get more time to get challenges or freezing the boss health while bonus time is playing. Oh. So freeze boss health. That could be interesting. Like a temporary buff. Temporary buffs. A new category of temporary buffs. Freeze boss timer. Or freeze boss timer health. So you would get free points. Which is also a risk. So you would risk... What would the risk be? The risk would be... that you can't get... Like, no. It's just bonus points. But you don't get any other buffs. So this temporary buff would give you... basically... an advantage of your max score that you can get. It's just free score, basically. Yeah. There's no risk attached at all. I guess you could get like higher, you could make more use of the basic cursor because you can go for higher combos. That doesn't make much sense though. But the boss one-shot? Wait, what? What do you mean by one-shot? After the freeze? It doesn't make sense though. If it's temporary. I'm not sure what you mean by that. That would have to be at the end of the game then, wouldn't it? Like, then it would only be viable if it's at the end of the game, which is hard to estimate. Because you don't really know. Also, yeah, I was thinking of doing temporary buffs too. That you get like a higher, like a score multiplier temporarily. But it's kind of weird because you can't really control when you take it. I guess you can. But you would have to complete the challenge because you get the buff after completion of the challenge. There's not really a good way to like control when it sets in. But it would be interesting. But I think that's out of scope. Like, we don't really have a scope anymore because we just develop until it's done. But we kind of still have to be a little bit aware of the time we take. I think it's too complicated to make a temporary buff system with like... Yeah. So, let's put it in more simple terms. Let's break it down a little bit. Although, what other temporary buffs would they even be? I guess it would be like a special... Let's just put it as optional. Optional. And then probably should mark some of these optional as well. Let's do optional here. Maybe even here. Because he kind of has the regeneration in the seats already. The shield might also be kind of difficult to implement. I guess it could be restore health. Restore health. Take damage. And this would be... I guess it would be get, restore health, shield, take damage. Either, like either or. You could get shield. So heal slash shield versus take damage. Or we just say plus, minus, heal, remove health, and then plus, minus, shield, remove shield. Or take damage. Oh, question, that's reality here. Kind of weird. Maybe heal should just be just heal and we don't do remove health. Let me just make some image. Post timer might also be kind of difficult. Let's put this optional. And then the kill bonus, I think we keep. Health, speed, damage, kill bonus. Let's put this as optional as well. So let's stick to the ones that are like easy to do, and then if we have time at the end, the other stuff doesn't take long, we can add the other modifiers. Alright, and then this can all go. Important time bonus probably. Keep this as a node, and then we put challenge rework should probably be no penalty, and then we just list it here. Time bonus. There we go. Etc. Let's say early kill was time remaining bonus score. Cause yeah, it's fine, it's fine. And then the weight is random. Maybe it's not even gonna be weighted random, we just pick two. Or something. Instead of making a list. I guess it should be kind of a list, but not really. And we should always... It should be paired, right? We should roll if it's gonna be a minor buff or a major buff. If it's a major buff, it's gonna be paired with a score penalty. Well, if it's a major buff, it's gonna be paired with a penalty in the other category. And if it's a minor buff, it's just gonna be like that. And when we pair it with something, we need to make sure that they come from different categories. So let's do... yeah, minor buff, major buff, paired with debuff. Always paired with debuff. And then challenge selection. Pick weighted random challenge. You don't really need weighted random. Can I ever pick challenge logic already? I guess we roll the rewards independently from the challenges. Right? So you just pick 3 challenges. And they can be the same because the rewards will be different. Do we have a weighted challenge pick system? I don't think so. It's just equal. Yeah, just equally picks one of them. We could like make a weighted system for the buffs and debuffs. But I feel like we keep it simple. So we don't do any weights. And just do random. Although it should be outcomes, should be weighted random. So challenge select screen, and then this should actually be the point to implement the UI. And this should be outcome randomizer. I guess it's the select randomized pairing. Don't even have to do it. Let's say, just modifiers. And then put a point below randomizer. Pick 3 challenges randomly. Yeah, randomizer. Pick 3 challenges. Pick minor versus major buff. Hell. Buff and debuff. I'll pick buff. Plus debuff later. So how would that look? We would have a list of modifiers. With each in like a 3 list of modifiers, each in different categories. We would have score modifiers, player modifiers, boss modifiers. And then it just have a string name. And a value, which is either positive or negative. So it's just string name and value, and then for the... when we pick them, it's just gonna pair 1 positive with 1 negative if it's a major. And just a positive 1 if it's a minor buff. If you roll a minor buff, we just pick 1. And assign a value. If it's a major buff, we pick 2. 1 with positive, 1 with negative. And the major buff is probably just gonna double the value. Alright. Let's implement it, I guess. So we need a new challenge system, as we were talking about before. Currently, the score challenges linked to reward and penalty, which is just an integer. We could technically override this. I guess you kind of do because the signals are the same. And we don't really want to go back and override all of this, you know. So we probably should make it by his class. That at least has the accept and decline. No, that's different though. That's gonna be completely different. What's in the base? What's in the E61 base? On challenge spawn time of spawn challenge, so we would override spawn challenge. We would override I guess on challenge accepted decline doesn't really matter. Decline would be empty. I guess it would decline the other two. And then succeed would give the buff. And fail would just do nothing. And then... On the challenge thing, we would still have the accept decline. Alright. You just have to override that in a way, or like make sure that everything is declined when you choose one. And then you succeed and fail. Can we override signals to change the thing? Like, is it possible in Godot to just override the signal or overload it with a different syntax? Different parameters? We definitely need a base class though. We can't just override this because of the reward penalty thing. Although, if we changed it here to a different type, we could probably cast it down to an int. Not really though. I think it's also better to override it, to not override it because of the scenes. Kinda need a new scene. Yeah, we should do it from scratch. It's gonna get too complicated otherwise, I think. Because there is a lot that needs to change. It's kinda annoying because then yeah, I guess it's a completely new challenge system anyway. Maybe we should refactor it in a way that we have a challenge system and the challenge system changes. How is that even done? So cycle 1 had the challenge failed. Challenge parent. Challenge selection spawn timer container. These can all stay the same. What needs to change is the type of the challenge, which is a generic resource anyway. Like this, active challenges. This needs to change to a different type. But other than that, it can keep everything the same. Because if the type changes, we can't just make new signals. I guess it does have the signals down here. Like the accepted decline and succeed and fail. But we can just override it. Yeah. We override the spawn challenge and give it a new type here. And then make a new scene that just has a new script, so we don't need to override this. Or we don't need to make like a child scene. So we make an entirely new scene. But an override for the script. Because duration and progress technically sensing. Okay, so script will be a new script. And that's gonna be challenge EAC. No, just challenge in core. Inherits control. Is the name of the script usually uppercase? No. Yeah. So class name challenge. Should we call it mini challenge? Like it was originally planned. What is it usually called in games? Bonus challenge? It's called bonus challenge. And then this will be inherited from here. Bonus challenge. We copy everything over. Kind of, not really. Don't do the reference thing. This will all be challenge. And then succeeded is gonna be a reward resource. I guess you don't do signals at all in the base. Then the challenge time will be here. We don't have the reward and penalty. We do have the hard controls, duration and progress. Reward and penalty will become the label. That reward value. Oh, that's the value label. Because it's like a unified system. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. Probably will refactor that too. So the duration and the progress can be the same. Gameplay cycle. Yes, I guess it is the base. The earliest base. And then remove the reward value and penalty value because it's not related to the base class. So you just have duration and progress. And then remove that. Let's timeout, change timeout. There's no wait time. And then that is not related, is it? It can be independent, you know. And process, time left, input, change time of stopped, accept decline. This will have to change too. Because it can only accept one. So this kind of needs to be a pass. And then declined in mid-cell. On decline button pressed, on accept button pressed. Yes, those will also be gone. Yeah, that is implement in learning. Implement action. Choose challenge actually. You put this now, right? I guess it would just override which button is pressed. Because action accept and decline is QE, but it could also be a third one. Then we do like it's no, not really, not really. And it do have to override it, I think. If not, a challenge time will stop return. Can't really enforce that, can we? Unless... yeah, let's do... handle... choose... challenge... input. Handle challenge challenge selection. Orders to challenge selection input. How should be handled? Handle selection input. There you go. And then this will be and selection input. Then we put this here, and this will be overridden. And this will probably be pass. Override children. Do I usually put a space for comments? Implemented by children, that is what we did in the past. It's Okay, and then we copy it over. Remove these. And then this would go into here. Let's put those tails up here and close the other ones. Oops. So now this will be... What is this thing? Oh. Oh, it gets the event in that as well. Event. Input event. Void. And then we put that in here. Then this will be handle selection report. I guess it could just be challenge input. And a choice input. There we go. That is the perfect name. Handle choice input. And then remove this. And then handle choice inputs. And remove this. Wait, why is it complaining? Oh, it needs sealant. And then remove that and these and this and these. Could not resolve class bonus string. Class name bonus string. It will resolve eventually once we have the stuff fixed. Then on decline button pressed. Declined event. I guess this one would be called if it defend. I guess instead of decline button pressed, it should be on selected and on declined. Like on declined and on accepted. And then the buttons are actually... Wait, what does it do? On accept button pressed. Yeah, this should be on accepted. And then we would do on accepted void, on declined void, right? And then on a declined button press would just call on accepted and on declined. So we move this here and this here. Then this would be on accepted and on declined, or just accept and decline, challenge, accept, challenge. And then these go below and just input goes here. And then implemented by children, yes. And accept and decline probably too. No, that can be none. So if one is accepted, the other ones get declined, which we still need to do. But in this case, that would be an handle choice. And then on challenge timeout, true, succeeded in it, failed in it. Succeeded and failed to be healed. Because they will be different. Here's where it gets tricky. Because you can't really emit different signals with different syntax. Because if we implement it by the children, the signal that gets pressed on will have the wrong values. Like if we override this in another challenge, I guess it doesn't matter because it's specific to one. Yeah, specific to the gameplay, so it doesn't matter. That's fine then. Can I just do it? No, this one would be pass. I don't know what that note is for because there's no super. Maybe we tried implementing this differently in the past, but for now, this should be irrelevant. So now on challenge timeout is gonna get down here. Nope. And then these don't matter anymore. And here we can do, we don't even need to call unaccepted button. Actually we do, because it should still trigger the hover button, so that's fine. Like the sound effects and stuff. Yeah. Why is accept before decline? Or after only? Okay, and then challenge timeout, implement children, succeed in it, fail in it. 0. Wait. Why 0? Oh. Score rush challenge is hidden. Score challenge is hidden. Hey, what about the rush challenge? Oh, it does have a different one. So the timeout gets overridden on challenge timeout. Oh. So why even have this? Was that what the note is for? For not calling super? Yeah, we don't admit it all. Like, what would I admit here? If true, emit 0. Is it important for the other challenge? Like a rhythm challenge? Yeah, piranha challenge. Also extensive. No, it does override, it doesn't call super. Why is it so different? Yeah, it should be fine, it should be fine. Don't accept button press, don't accept button press. One more time. Oops. So rhythm challenge doesn't have that at all, it's from something completely different, right? Yeah. Piranha challenge goes from here, overrides the on challenge time mode. I don't know why we would even have those. Can we just do pass? Implemented into them. Because all the challenges overrided anyway. Surely. It's called rhythm challenge. Oh. So this does count. On challenge completed. Maybe it's this one that needs to be overruled. 200. I think it is. So the score rhythm challenge is the one that needed the override fallback. Guess it's fine, we don't have to change it. In this case. To preserve the old logic. And the base class only does like separation and doesn't actually change the logic either. But yeah, the on-challenge timeout is in the other base. And then handle chores import. The other ones have that. They don't have an input override, do they? One score change. They have already override though. Do we need to call super? Probably would. Also name this. I can rename it here. Bonus challenge. Ready. They don't override ready, which means the parent is called automatically mode. Or is it always called automatically? We can close. Cut can close. Put the brush. Target. Clone roll. Spore. And then that does override ready, doesn't call the parent, so it still probably is called because this one, no, it does call super ready. Why does the other one not call super ready? Challenge timeout connect, unchallenged timeout. Or because the rhythm challenge doesn't have a timeout. Or reward or penalty. Or duration. So we do have to override it if we... Okay, we do have to call super if we override it. That's fine. That should be it, I think. Let's just do it. That's just the refactor. Okay, seems to still work. Should be fine. What's the warning? Event is still used if it's intended. Underscore event. It is gonna override it here, though, right? Yeah, in this case, yes. It's just to get rid of the warning. What's the other one? Should be fine. And then probably commit that first. Annotate variable. What do we do here? The scene. What did we change on the scene? Oh, it's... Yeah, we removed the reward and penalty. Wait, hopefully that doesn't actually change the values. Oh. Wait, no? How did we even handle this? Like, what happened to the old versions if the penalties are not... Like, if the penalties and rewards aren't actually... How's it going, fish? It is going slowly. We did mostly concepting on, like, the challenge rework. So we didn't do much in terms of coding. But that was very important, and it is now clear how we are gonna do it. Are we being a raisin? No. I've been drinking a lot because my throat, my voice is dying. Go to concept before coding? Yeah. So, how are you doing? I mean, the usual, I guess. I'm fine. Other than my voice dying, I'm fine. Having fun. Although I must say, I probably will end the stream earlier today to, like, restore my voice. And I am looking forward to playing more games tomorrow. Some more Oni. Yup. We also talked a lot at the start of the stream. Almost had like an interview style discussion about how Oxygen Not Included may or may not have implemented the stuff. Because one of the guys in chat wanted to know what I think about it and how I would do it. Look like you were getting addicted to Oxygen Not Included. Yeah, I am. I'm constantly thinking about it. What I want to do with a new colony or with the current one, and how I want to lay out things and stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Although, we probably won't have time. Like, it is taking a long time to get a colony done. I feel like it's gonna take a while until we even get a second one to test things out. Did you know there's a funny version of it from the same company? A funny version of it? What do you mean by that? I know that Klein Entertainment has more games, but there's a game called Mind Over Magic. Really? No, it's not the same. It's the same publisher, but it's a different developer. Yeah, Client Entertainment. Client Entertainment are the people that made Oxygen Not Included and like Don't Starve. And I think the Mind Over Magic is a different developer that are also published by the same publisher. Although Client Publishing didn't even publish Oxygen Not Included. But that's interesting. Sparky Pants. It's the same concept as Oxygen Not Included. It's a goofy base builder but with magic. That does sound kinda nice. That's crazy though, that's triple the price of Oxygen Not Included. Hey, what is that? Why is the bundle weird? Wait, so did Client Entertainment actually open a publishing company after they made their games? Wait, Rodwood is from Cly too? I guess it checks out. Oh. I get it. Never mind. It's way newer. Oxygen Not Included is old. The DLC for Oxygen is fun to play too. Yeah, there's a couple DLCs. There's like a bunch of life improvement mods. I see. I probably won't buy them anytime soon though. Because... there's a lot of other games that we have to play. Basically. Too many games, unlimited games, but no games. There's like a bunch of life improvement mods. What's the list to play? Well, the base game. We haven't even finished our first colony, so I feel like that takes like another week. Probably 2, because we now are back on game development as well. And then we want to do the other asteroids too, right? It's not like we only want to play one colony. But I don't think we will have time for that. Another run of AO Simon? No. Blueprints. Blueprints is something I bought from my Christmas presents. So Blueprints is one of the games, and we probably also want to 100% it. Although I'm not sure how much fun it is to 100%. It definitely is gonna fun to play. Not sure about 100%ing it. But... yeah, Blueprints is next on the list. And then after that... Newgenics comes out. Which is the new game by Edmund Macmillan, who made Binding of Isaac. And I feel like if we actually play that, that's on the 10th of February. So if we play that, that might actually take over the channel completely. If it is like Binding of Isaac, we might become a Newgenics main game stream. But who knows? But if it is like Binding of Isaac, that would be crazy. That would probably keep us busy for half a year or something. Potentially. But we are not gonna do that because when we play Eugenics, after that, there's already more plans because then the Steam Next Fest is coming up as well in February. Which is gonna be at the end of February. So after Eugenics, there will be Steam Next Fest, which we will play again. It's gonna be demo days again. That was a lot of fun. I love the demo day stuff. Oh my god, I'm sorry if you heard that. That was very loud. Viewfinder is one. Wait, what? What's a painter game that's a puzzle game? Viewfinder. Maybe I should actually look this up here so you can actually watch. Viewfinder. Oh, is it that? Yeah, I have seen that. That's been out for a while. Yeah, I don't really have the funds to buy these small indie games that last for like a couple of hours. I think Viewfinder is one of those experimental games that has like probably only a story, right? With not a high replay value. Or no, it is kind of cheap, no. But yeah, I don't think so. We need to focus on the roguelite games. God damn it, I am myself again. What is happening? Why is that always happening? Yeah, I think Eugenics is gonna be the big one. And also, Hytale cannot, right? Oh, Hytale is not on Steam. But then it seems to be really big right now. So we might have to look into that as well. And the other thing that that technically is also on the list a little bit is like the Spooftopia Minecraft server. Hytale is Riot? There's no way. No, it's Hypixel. Yeah, it's Hypixel funded by, in part by, yeah, you're true. That is true. Funded by Riot Games. Wait, did they actually buy it? I think there was something else going on for a while. Is it actually... relaunched into early access in January 26, which is now, after being acquired, then returned by Riot. Studio originally founded by creators from the popular Minecraft server Hypixel, aims to blend adventure, blah 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 blah. Yeah, so they are back to not be Riot, if I understand it correctly, right? Weird. They have a very interesting track record, that's for sure. Yeah, but there's a lot on all this. So it's gonna be only for the rest of January until Eugenics comes out, and then we play Eugenics until the next first, and then we play demos, and after that, it's already April. Well, it's March, I guess, middle of March, and I can't plan ahead that far. Wait, blueprints. We don't even have time for blueprints. So in March we do blueprints. Probably for the entirety of March. After Steam Next Fest. And then it's April. And I don't know what happens in April. Anyway, let's go mad. What did we change? Remove some stuff. Refactors. This is gonna be here with the refactor stuff, and then score challenge. Remove some comments that were relevant to the refactor. Meganom for a comment. Add comment. WordPress or edit to do to remember basic cursor image on Meganom. And then run a challenge. We just moved it down. And everything else should be the same. Should not cause issues. De facto challenges to prepare for new challenge system. Alright. What direction we turning this game to? Captain? What do you mean? Why would you ask me that? That is your job to figure out. We are currently still implementing Cycle 4. So after the challenge rework, we actually get to your stuff. When the challenge rework is done, we're gonna animate Nom Nom, Mega Nom a little bit. And then we get to your submission, which is the Mega Nom final battle. Do you even remember that you requested that? The final battle phase with like side-scrolling boss battle. And I already had multiple people tell me that they want to join the race to the top of the leaderboard in Cycle 4. Because they want to submit things as well. But we will see what comes of that. Surely it will be highly competitive with all the new people we have on the stream, on the channel. Don't remember Simon wiped out half my memory and erased the canvas. Well, it has been 3 months since the last development stream, and even more months since we actually did some development. Because the last stream was a misunderstanding of how Steam Next Fest works. And before that we were still paused. So yeah, lots of stuff to do. I'm blaming Simon. That's fine. Okay, I think I need to rest today because my voice is dying and probably good to have some respite in between. Tomorrow we return to Oxygen Not Included. But I forgot about these bugs. Well, we'll do it tomorrow. Not tomorrow, we'll do it on Wednesday. I don't know if 2 days of game that is enough though. Maybe do it on Monday. It's fine. We also have many games to play. We'll see. Anyway, let me go back here and then to the outro. And then we find someone to raid. One spin. We got my eyes on you. Yeah, you do. Alright. Let's see if we find someone to raid. And also, let me get the Kohari. And let's see, is there someone in game dev? Maybe some cute anime girl that is doing game dev? Somewhere, maybe? Wait a minute. That can't be right. Suika is live. Let's raid Suika. She has not been live in a very long time. Yeah, I guess she was live yesterday, but we didn't have. Couldn't join her. Let's raid Suika Puru. A very good friend. Who we unfortunately rarely see around. So say hi to our good friend who is a Hungarian streamer as well. well, I'm not Hungarian, but, we have a couple of Hungarian fans here. So let's raise Rikaburu, and she's very cute. So let's say hi over there. Alright. Thank you all for being here, thank you all for watching, and thank you for keeping me company doing the new game dev section that we do weekly on Wednesdays and Thursdays now. That's the plan at least. So we return next week on Wednesday, and tomorrow at 4 p.m. CET I will be live again with some more oxygen. I'm not included, so see you there. And that's it. Bye.